and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from southern Tasmania. Bear with me for a minute. Restream have changed the whole look of their, what they call it, dashboard, and it took me a while to find what I was looking for then. Anyway, all good. I seem to have found it. Bear with me, and I will check that my volume is okay. Yeah, sounds okay. Yeah, volume sounds okay. Thanks, guys. I can see a few people jumping on, which is wonderful as well. Finally gave in to my, finally listened to my youngest, who suggested that I probably should change the camera that I use for my lives. And I'm actually noticing, I wouldn't want to say it too loudly to him, but I actually am noticing quite a difference in the colour today. So if you're actually noticing that as well, please yell out and just confirm to me that it looks different on your end as well. But its colour seems a lot more natural. So that's really good. Yes, so kids can be right sometimes. Yeah, well, he's right most of the time, but you don't want to tell him that. Anyway, it might glitch my internet a little bit because it's got to go from the phone wirelessly to the computer so it's all a bit, wireless sort of sometimes gets a little bit funny, but we'll see how it goes. And maybe I actually attach my phone to my computer with a cord at some stage if it gets too glitchy. But anyway, if you as I say, if you're seeing that's different, then please let me know. Okay, getting on to crafting. I don't know that I've got anything much to advertise to you today. I know we've got a fair few things happening, but we won't bother going through those. If you want to know what's happening at Stamping Up at the moment, just pop to my Facebook page and there's a whole list of things there. Anyway, so today we're going to be making this cute little card. I am going to be using the Beautiful Balloons bundle a fair bit this month because it is the focus of our stamp camp, which I'm taking places for at the moment. This one starts off just like a little square, quite fun card on the outside, nothing too spectacular. But when you open it up, you fold it out, and you've got these really cute sort of floating in thin air sort of balloons happening. So it basically sits flat on your counter like that, I suppose, and the balloons sort of wave around in the air. That's the card we're going to be making today. Obviously, it's not magic. It's not Harry Potter land. They are actually suspended with window sheet, of course. Okay, so let's give that a go. I'm actually changing the colours for this one. This one, I really like the colours, but I thought I'd make the next one a little bit brighter that we make together. So I'll tell you the colours that are in this one first, just in case you want to recreate this. This is Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, and pretty fundamentally Daffodil Delight. So that's the three colours in this one, and that's all there is. So basically you can see that there's the Lost Lagoon, the Pretty Peacock, and the Daffodil Delight on the inside as well. But that's fundamentally all there is. So, but I'm going to, as I say, colour it up a bit with the next one, and we'll add a bit more bright colours. But anyway, let's see how it goes. Fundamentally, this card, I've already popped the measurements for this card base on my in the event, but I will put them in the Facebook page as well, because once the events are over, they're a bit hard to find the discussion from them. I realise that. But anyway, this is I've modified the measurements slightly so that you can get the whole card out of a sheet of white and a sheet of colour. So this original card was a wee bit wide, so to make those measurements, which was only like 1/8 of an inch wider, you actually had to use two sheets of white and 2 sheets of colour, which seemed a little bit of a waste because there was a fair bit of waste there. So this one is basically, and it's going to get down to these pesky 1/8 of an inch. It's I'll have to remember now. 10 3/4 long, so that's not 1/8 of an inch, by 4 3/8 wide. So 10 3/4 by 4 3/8, and then it's scored. So you score at, that's it, the first one is at 4 3/8, and then you make 5 scores altogether, and they are 1/2 inch apart. So I'm not even going to bother, because then it gets really complicated with the 1/8 of an inch. But start at 4 3/8, and then a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. So 5 scores altogether. So you get that sort of look. There's like a W in the middle there. Okay, so what we end up doing is scrunching these. So you go valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, and that's, you end up with sort of like a little mouth there, and that's where we're going to capture our balloons when we finally get to pop them in there. Anyway, so that's the inside of the card, and this is the outside. So we might do the outside first, just get that out of the way. So instead of our Lost Lagoon for the original card, I'm going to use Berry Burst, which is one of my favourite colours, especially with this beautiful balloons bundle, because the designer series paper that comes with this bundle has the Berry Burst in it, which is wonderful. So I'm going to pop a layer of Berry Burst on the outside. I've got to remember which way it goes, that way. So this card is actually going to have the opening, or the score is at the top. So that's the right orientation for this card. And because you lay it flat when it's on display, yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it. Okay, so we've got a layer of Berry Burst. Then I've got a layer of white, obviously. And this is where we're going to start doing some stamping. So for the background, I'm using from the, now I don't know, guys, if you mention whether that is jumping too much, the internet, I may have to do something about that. As I say, I'm cordless, and although we may have better visuals, there might be some issues with the cutting out of the internet and being jumpy. But if it gets too annoying, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably just add a cord at some stage. Probably not today, but at some stage. Okay, so the colours I'm using with our Berry Burst, I'm going to stick with our Daffodil Delight. Then I'm going to use the Berry Burst, and I'm going to put that with some Coastal Cabana. So that's the 3 colours I'm using for our streamers. And this is the streamer stamp from the this is the streamer stamp from the stamp set, which I haven't actually used very much. So I know in our stamp camp, Jean has used this one a fair bit, but I didn't actually use it at all. So I thought I'd better get it out. I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper because I don't want to get the ink everywhere. Probably should have grabbed that before, Julian, but anyway. Didn't know how I was going to go today. I think I've got a slight touch of my vertigo back. I woke up this morning quite dizzy. I didn't know whether maybe it was, I don't know, women of a certain age. I didn't know what was going on. I feel okay now. I had some brekkie and a cup of tea and wondered whether it was my blood sugar or something. But anyway, yeah, so we'll see. I'd hate to think I'd get that back. It was the worst thing. I would not wish it on my worst enemy. Okay, so I'm starting with my Coastal Cabana. So I'm just going to do a series of streamers. So this is just for the background. I might do three with the cabana. And then I'll clean that off, and I'll come back with the one of the others. What will we do? With a bit of Berry Burst. So this colour combination, I didn't think of it on my own. I can't take the blame or the credit for that. I popped in and had a look at our colour chart. Now, if you haven't seen the Stamping Up colour chart, it's really useful, especially for people like myself who tend to be a wee bit colour challenged. It'll tell you or suggest, obviously, it's no one's holding a gun to your head. It suggests to you colours that go well together. So according to the colour chart, these 3 colours are a matching set. So I'll be interested to see what you think. Here we are. So that's a bit of berry burst. Let's face it, berry burst would go with just about anything. Okay, so, and add a little bit more of our Daffodil Delight. Yeah, so the vertigo I had was call it BPPV, and I'm not really sure. I know the V is vertigo and one of the P's is positional, which means basically you it means and fundamentally it means the little crystals in the inner ear have come loose and they make you think you're on a ship. So I spent 6 months pretty much giddy the whole time, which wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun 6 months at all. It was 6 months we were in lockdown with COVID, so it was like, Anyway, as I say, I wouldn't wish it back. It gradually went over time, and doing some exercises or some positioning exercises that the physio gave me, but yeah, it wasn't fun at all. So that's our little background. I've just gone a little bit crazy with those colours. I like those colours actually. I think the colour chart has done us proud. I'm quite happy with that. So we might let that be the colour. So as with the first card, I've got 3 balloons. I've already cut and coloured them, although I can mix them up, excuse me, a bit. I've got a large balloon from the stamp set in our Coastal Cabana, and I've got a small balloon in Berry Burst, and then another small balloon in our, move them around, in our Daffodil Delight. So they're going to pop onto the front. Okay, and then I've got this is the sentiment box from the die set. So the die is really good. The die set's really good. It has the balloons, and obviously it has this this little sentiment box as well, which is cool. Okay, so I'm going to pop this. I'm going to pop this straight onto the card front. I'm going to grab, it's only going to be a little sentiment at the front. I'm just going to say yay you. That covers a whole lot of occasions, surely. Yay you. I'll pop a happy birthday inside. But it's a bright, cheery, happy card, so it needs a bright, cheery, happy sentiment. Colour. I might put my sentiment in. I hadn't actually decided, but I put it in Berry Burst. The sentiment box is going to be slightly on this angle like that, so I'm going to pop the sentiment so it'll be straight when the sentiment box is on an angle like this. Okay, I'm going to glue that straight to the card. There we are. Bring in our nice big balloon. Like so. And then I'm going to pop these 2 other little cards on, other little balloons on dimensionals. So I'll grab my dimensionals. I want big dimensionals, not little dimensionals. And all I can find is little. I want big. Where's my big dimensionals gone? Oh, there's some here. So I'm glad to say that my comments are back. I don't know if you were watching my video during the week. The comments weren't coming up on my streaming software, which made me feel very alone and isolated, but they're back up today, which is good. So Stevie has been retired for 2 whole days. I'm not tempted to kill him yet, which is nice to know. We've managed 2 days. And our youngest has come home from up north to spend a bit of time with him to celebrate. We're going to have the family over for a meal tonight to celebrate his retirement. So it was nice, and people said spoiled him accordingly at work last week and gave him a lovely morning tea. So that was nice. I was a bit worried, since everyone's still working from home at the uni, I was a bit worried that he wouldn't get a morning tea or a present or anything, but he did. So I was greatly relieved. So he's off. Yeah, he's still wandering aimlessly around going, it doesn't seem real, it doesn't seem real, which I think we all did. I know I did too when I retired. But he's, finished working. Now we just need to get his super all sorted, and life will be good. Okay, so this card front, as I mentioned, it's cute. It's not going to knock the world on fire, but it's quite cute. I'm going to pop that on the front, and then we can start the big surprise inside, which is our pop-up balloons. I haven't put any bling on that yet. I'll come back and do that when we're done. Okay, so that's just the front. So what we're going to do now is pop our pop-up balloons on the inside. So I've got various balloons stamped and coloured, stamped and die cut. It shows off pretty much everything that's in the stamp set. We've got little balloons, which is the same size we used on the front, nice big one, also what we used on the front. There's a medium-sized stamp that also is there in our Daffodil Delight, and a couple of big ones. This is quite interesting, this stamp, because it's sort of it's just got stars and things, so it looks like the balloon is just sort of one of those see-through ones, you know what I mean, that the see-through ones that sort of just have the stars and spangles and things on it. So I've got two of those. That's actually just the whole stamp, but I've just die cut it smaller, so it just looks like it's a smaller version of this one. And then did the same thing with a tiny weeny one as well. And I have done a couple of stars in Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I don't know how I'm going to get those in or whether I need them, but I will see how we go, whether we need to bring them in or not. So to make the magic happen, you need some, wherever it is, window sheeting. And it was here a minute ago. Here we go. Window sheeting. So this is just Stampin' Up! Window sheeting. You buy it in a pack of 2. It's not overly expensive, but it's lovely and clear, except for when you get glue on it. And it's nice and stiff as well. So yeah, really suggest you invest. Suggest you invest in good quality window sheeting. So I'm going to cut myself 1/4-inch strips of window sheeting. I haven't cut them yet because I didn't want to lose them. You guys know what I'm like. So I'm just going to cut probably 6 or 7. We'll see how we go. I can cut some more if I want. 6 or 7 strips of window sheeting. I was thinking about this afterwards. If you just cut a whole 4-inch thick strip, like just to go the whole length of the card, you could just pop the balloons on, just on like a continuous piece. I haven't explained that very well, but I think this is nice in the fact you don't use so much window sheeting, plus they sort of wiggle independently of each other, which is awesome as well. So there's my 7 odd pieces there, so we'll pop that over there. Yeah, I would definitely lose those if I'd cut them sooner, knowing me. There we are. I'm going to grab some glue dots, and I'm going to glue these on with glue dots, just because it's an immediate glue, it's an immediate fix, and I don't want them sort of jiggling around too much. That's finished. Finally finished. That's about the first box of glue dots that I've ever finished. That's saying something. Anyhow, there we go. Where do they start? They start sort of, oh yeah, they're on both sides these days, which makes it hard to remember where they actually are. So I'm just going to grab a little piece of window sheeting. I'm going to pop a little glue dot just on it there. just gone really quiet here. I don't know why it was noisy before, but it's just gone really quiet. It's been windy. Maybe the wind dropped out. There's no birds either. Usually can hear the birds. Maybe they know that something's coming. We've got storms and rain coming through today. So there we are. So there's a balloon on a piece of window sheeting. There you go. Let's keep going with the rest. That is so weird how quiet that's just gone. Bizarre. This morning I was laying in bed. I hadn't quite got out the urge to get out of bed, and a squall came through, and there were birds in the trees, and they must have been quite unhappy with this squall coming through because there was such a lot of noise, so much complaining. You think, gosh, birds, you should be used to it, but oh my goodness, they were having a terrible time, just squawking. So yes, oh, there's a bird. Finally something. Okay, so I'm popping all my little balloons, or some of the balloons, onto window sheet strips just to get them ready to go in. There's one there. Let's do that one. Yep. Here we are. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 2 pieces of window sheeting left. I might use them for the stars if I decide I want to use them. And I'm going to pop these 2. Actually, you'll see what I'm going to do with those 2 in a moment. So how I have attached the window sheeting to the card, you've got this, as we called it, our little mouth. Okay, so that's our little mouth there. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape and pop it inside our little mouth. So the top of the mouth and the bottom of the mouth. Okay, plus when you flip it over, I also want to seal up the back as well. So I'm going to seal up the back with double-sided tape. So that's a strip of double-sided tape in the first gap and the last gap as well, and that's going to seal our card and create our little mouth at the front. I'll pop that there and that there. You can see that's sealed. It's got a thick spine for this card. If you can imagine, there's actually 3 scores there. So it is quite a thick card at that end, but it's obviously reduces as it goes down. So there's our little mouth there with a piece of double-sided tape at the top and a piece of double-sided tape at the bottom. So now what I'm going to do is remove it from the top and then just lay my balloons into the positions that I want them. And I'm going to have to trim them down because I don't want them all at the same level. So I'm going to have to trim down the double-sided tape of the window sheet. That's why I didn't bother giving you any specifics on the length, because you do have to trim them down. So for me to tell you that this one has to be 2 inches, it's not really helpful because you might choose a different length. But anyway, so I'm going to trim a wee bit off that one because that's a nice big balloon, so it can sit a little bit lower. Make sure you bring it inside the footprint of the card itself and just seal it to that bottom piece of double-sided tape. I'll bring in the other one. It's going to be a wee bit higher, but not much, so I'll just trim there. Lay this one in. Again, make sure it doesn't go too high or too wide. Trim a wee bit more of that one, it's too high. There we are. Let's keep going. So I've got this one here. He's going to sit quite low and onto the one side. So I trim a bit of that one. And you sort of overlay them over the top of each other so that they look like a clump of balloons almost. So it's quite cute when they're all sort of different heights and one behind the other and all those sorts of things. This yellow one, I'm going to leave that the full length. So he's up quite high and behind. And then there was another one, this one. Put him over here. Okay. Now I might use one of my stars. I'll bring one of my stars in and pop it there. So I'm going to pop him on some window sheeting as well. So these stars are in the set as well, in the Beautiful Balloons dies. So although there's no stamps for them, but they are quite cute just on their own. I'll make him a wee bit shorter. There we are. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so these two here that I've just got the little ones that have been stamped in Berry Burst, I'm going to grab a dimensional and actually attach those to the main balloons behind them. So here we go, that one there. And another one. There. So you get the distance away, but they don't have to have window sheeting because they're attached to the others. So I'll just take the double-sided tape off the other side and seal that down. And then we have our little floating balloons and stars, which is really cool. I hope you like that. That's really nice. And those colours turned out quite well. I'm quite happy with that. Those colours look quite nice together as suggested by the colour guide. If you want to get the PDF with the colour guide, just yell out. I have it saved somewhere and I can pop it through to you in a message or an email if you'd like to have a look at that if you haven't seen it already. I did pop it up in my card group, so if you're a member of the card group, you can pop on and find it there in the files. It just gives you, I think, combinations of 3. So 3 colours that go with each of the base colours. So, you know, you look up Berry Burst and it tells you that it goes with Daffodil Delight and Coastal Cabana, or, you know, other things as well. Obviously, there's more than one combo. It's a very handy little resource, especially since we've had a colour refresh. So some of these colours are new or returning. Okay, so I've got 2 more panels of Berry Burst here. I'm going to put them top and bottom. And then a couple of panels of basic white. As I say, I'll pop the measurements are actually in my in the event at the moment. If you're on Facebook, they're in the event, but I will pop them on. I will pop them up as well. So once the event's over, they get a little bit hard to find. Okay, so that's got a layer of white at the back. This one here on the front, I'm just going to pop that just there like so. I'm going to do some stamping on that as well. Bring back our streamer. And this is our Berry Burst. And continuing the theme, I'll use the other 2 colours as well. Coastal Cabana. And our yellow as well. Yes, Judy, I'll pop it through to your email address. It's actually in the Chatty Stampers files if you wanted to pop and have a look over there. It's in our team page. So if you wanted to pop and have a look, but I will email it to you as well if you can't find it. I shared it with the chatties pretty early on. One of the perks of being part of my team, if you join Stamping Up, I do share a lot of that stuff with the team, including all my classes as well. So if you're interested in that, please reach out. Okay, so happy birthday is from the stamp set as well. Just a nice little happy birthday there. Conveniently, it fits in the middle of the balloons. So if you wanted to pop it on the balloons, it fits nicely in the middle of those. Pam's asking what season it is. I'm in Australia, Pam, so we're in the dead of winter at the moment, which isn't, well, it's not fun. Winter's never fun. I suppose it can be. It's pretty cold this year. And there, so I'm just popping my happy birthday there. There we are. And although some would say Tassie winters are a season of their own, I think sometimes. Although Canberra's doing a pretty good job of being colder than Hobart at the moment, so I bow to my Canberra friends who've had some pretty chilly mornings recently. -8, really. The one that felt like -8 was that took the prize. I don't think I've ever had anything quite that cold down here. There we go. So that's the inside of this one as well. So there we are. So when this one sits open, it'll sit open like that. So you've got your balloons sort of wiggling about. And then the happy birthday at the bottom. And then I suppose you could pop a message at the top there if you wanted to, or just pop to and from on that one if you wanted to as well. But it is going to sit up like that. You could add some more if you wanted to go a bit crazier with all your balloons. You could add some more balloons and stars and things like that. I did cut a couple of little stars as well. Where did I pop those? Here. I forgot those that I was going to sort of explore with, but we could pop them in here. We don't want to waste them. Let's pop them inside. There we go. I like that. Now I haven't wasted my stars. Here we are. Excellent. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, how long did that one take? 33. That's not too bad. I'm getting pretty good at this now. There we go. So that's today's card. There's the ones a little bit more colourful than the other one. So this one is a combo of Berry Burst, Coastal Cabana and Bling. And Coastal Cabana and Daffodil Delight. But I'll just pop some bling on it, just our normal, my faves, our iridescent gems. Love the iridescent gems because they will take whatever colour you happen to pop them on. So if I pop this one, say there near that Berry Burst, it looks like I've got a Berry Burst bling gem. And then if I pop another one, say on the yellow, on the Daffodil Delight, it looks like it's Daffodil Delight. And another one down here on the Coastal Cabana, and it looks like Coastal Cabana. So there you go. So that's a little bit of bling. So we've got that one there. As I say, that's a combo of Berry Burst, Coastal Cabana and Daffodil Delight, and our original, which is more of the greens there. So that's the Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock and Daffodil Delight. So I don't know which one you like best. I think I like them both. They both have their place. But anyway, so there you are. That's my card for today. Hopefully you enjoy that one. Remember, we're taking spots or selling for our stamp camp at the moment. If you're watching from outside Australia and you'd like to get hold of the PDF with the YouTube links, I am selling that individually to overseas or United States or Europe or wherever you're from outside Australia. So if you're interested in getting the PDF, this card won't be on it, but there's 10 designs in that stamp camp, and you can grab the PDF and the videos and make them along for yourself. But if you're in Australia, yes, please do. You will need the beautiful balloons bundle to do the cards as we show, but it'll be really fun. It'll be a great day. But anyway, thanks for joining me today, guys. I've got to find where this new dashboard has my end stream. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all again next week. Okay, bye.